Oh, we do like that song. That was our soul starter for today. It is Robert Parker and Barefootin' from 1966. And actually, I think I can imagine one of our guests this afternoon dancing around the kitchen to that one.
I think so too. But welcome to Late Lunch here on Manx Radio. It's Beth and Christy out and about today. And Christy, we have found a hidden gem.
I know we've been quite mysterious about this today, but I think it's partly because we sort of want to keep this place to ourselves. We discovered this place, which is the Greenfield Park Cafe, as a result of the aforementioned lady who I can imagine dancing around a kitchen barefoot. We found this place thanks to Georgie because of a certain post that she put on her Facebook. Now, before we speak to the woman behind the place itself, Georgie, tell us a little bit about how you first found out about this.
Well, I've got a son, Ollie, who is autistic, and I don't know how I first found out, probably through Eastcliff and through talking to a few people, but probably it was around the 11th of September. I brought my husband here for lunch, and the fact you could get a parking space, which is premium, isn't it, around Douglas, and we were both overwhelmed. The people working here are people with additional needs, and there's some amazing support staff here with them, and the food is superb, and the service is always with a smile. So I went back and I just put a little post on the Cook Shack page just to say, hey, everybody go visit it, and went a little viral with almost 31,000 people seeing the post, and it had a ridiculous amount of shares and 142 comments and 650 likes. So bittersweet, I think, wasn't it, Marie? Because I think we've had a lot of visitors here, which perhaps more than they could perhaps cope with, but they seem to be doing exceptionally well today, and I'm having a delicious coffee, and I can see a panini and a rather vibrant salad over there, so it's the place to be in Douglas.
It really is, and we are joined by Marie. Now, Marie, just tell us what your role is here.
Well, I manage Greenfield Park, and we've been open now just over 12 months. A brand new complex, and we have 5 areas for the service users to work in. We recycle, we have a weaving centre, a garden centre, a brand new shop and a brand new cafe. And the 2 new ventures which have far exceeded us expectations, and everything is doing really well, and all the service users are having a great time trying new experiences.
So as far as the service users go then, Marie, how does it work? What are their roles here?
Well, we're here to support the service users, basically to run each area, as I always see it as though it's their area and our staff are here just to support them. And so they're developing and learning new skills to hopefully go on to either voluntary or paid work in the community.
And we should say at this point you are an award nominee. Tell us about that.
We are. It's all very exciting. We are finalists for the Excellence Awards this year, and it will be fantastic if we did win, because that will be an achievement for the service users and the staff for all the hard work they've put in over the last 12 months.
Now, Christy, this is the second time we've been up here, and Marie said this is a complex, which it truly is, and I'm really ashamed to say that I didn't even know this all existed until Georgie pointed it out.
I didn't either, I have to say, and it is a little bit sort of behind Nobles. It's a little bit tricky to find, but in a way that makes it even more special, because it feels like it is a little special oasis in the middle of everything, and you do have a lot of people coming in here from the hospital as well to use it, don't you?
We do. We have a lot of people either come in for appointments or are having treatment in the hospital, or will come across for lunch, and I think a lot of staff as well, so we're always welcoming the nurses and the doctors from the hospital who pop in to have lunch too.
Do you know, we're going to talk much more about the complex later, because I'm intrigued by the weaving side of things. Absolutely incredible. But Georgie, like you say, I mean, you were blown away here, and obviously it's something that's close to your heart because of your son Ollie, and it's just wonderful to see somewhere like this thriving in the Isle of Man.
Yeah, it is absolutely wonderful, but I mean, if you look at the service users who are working here, you can see they feel fulfilled, and they've got big smiles on their faces, and it's just somewhere where they can engage with the public. It's so important for them not to be, kept behind closed doors or just with them. So it's great for them to engage with others, and they're loving it. Look at this. Look at the food. It's superb. It's vibrant, just like they are.
It really is fantastic food. We've tried it. It's wonderful, and I can smell the panini over there that looks amazing as well that you mentioned too. And you would know about good food, Georgie. Well, we are here right through until 3 p.m. this afternoon. So if you have any questions, you can text 166 177. But we'll have some more music now before we continue talking about this fantastic place and speaking to more people here. But let's have the latest one now from Ray and Jess Glynn. This is called Love Me Again.
Lying on the bathroom floor. Something I could do to make you love me again.
That's Ray and Jess Glynn on Late Lunch here on Manx Radio. We've just stepped outside just so you can hear how much work is going on around this complex. There is some sort of diggery type jobby just driving off there.
Good job you're not a builder, Beth.
Well, I know, yes.
If you've just tuned in, we're at Greenfield Park this afternoon, and it is a wonderful space. And we nipped outside because, as we just heard from Marie Smith, who's the manager here, there is so much more here than just the cafe, which I know a lot of people have come to. Just around the corner is a wonderful shop.
It really is the place to go for Christmas shopping because it's all bespoke gifts, isn't it? So that's where I'm going to get all your stuff from. But let's head back inside now because it is quite noisy out here. So much still happening. And actually I want to ask Marie what all that building work is about. So if we just head back over here, we've got some familiar faces with us this afternoon who we'll be speaking to a little bit later. But I'm just going to squeeze past Georgie Revel, who's made herself well at home here, sit down on this exceedingly comfy sofa. And Marie, we're just saying there's loads of building work going on outside. What is happening around this complex?
Right, so phase 2 is due for completion, which is a new East Cliff, which will be called Tall Trees Resource Centre, and will be open to occupy that building within the next couple of weeks. So that's another exciting change for the service users that attend the resource centre. So there's lots of new ways day services is changing. So we've got community activities. So that's just evolved over the last few months, ready for the big change, and that's been accepted and welcomed well by the ones that's accessing it, and it's doing really, really well.
And it's clearly something that everybody who works here is so passionate about. What's your background, Marie? How did you get into this?
Before I came across to the island, I worked for National Autistic Society in England. I came across to the island in 2003 for my husband's work and went into education. I worked at Ramsey Grammar School, St Ninians and Isle of Man College, and then after 3 years in primary school I decided I was ready for a change, and this is when I came into this role.
And you wear more than one hat here, don't you? Because when we came up to see you last week, you had a chef's hat on.
I did. Yes, I still work on the floor occasionally when that need is, and I think it also it's good to be able to be part of the team and see what goes on a day-to-day basis, so then you have a more insight into what's needed, and then I can go back and make changes if I need to.
And we're coming up, I suppose, to just about a year since the Greenfield Park Cafe opened, and from your point of view, from the people who've worked here, who are the service users who are really having life-changing experiences, what has that been like for them, having this facility here?
I think they have embraced it so well, the change. Obviously a lot of our service users would find change difficult, but they've rolled with it, and we're so proud of how well they've done. They're all learning new skills, kitchen and front of house skills, and these are so important for them to be able to take these skills to go and find employment in the community.
And is it a paid position for the service users?
We have an incentive pay which all the service users are paid an incentive pay on a daily basis, but because we are run partly by government and partly funded by the government, but we run a charity. So what we do is twice yearly the service users will be given a bonus through the profits from the charity.
It's just incredible. And we mentioned the shop. I know I keep talking about that, but it is just lovely. How often is that open?
The shop's open Monday to Friday, 10 while free. And from the end of October, on the 31st, we're closing the shop in October to then reopen it on the 1st of November as a Christmas shop.
You mentioned the C word. Christy gets upset.
Because
Are you okay?
Well, this time of year I'm not too bad about it, but I think if it's because you're planning ahead, which you can do, and having been to the States and places like Gatlinburg where they have Christmas shops all year round, I think it's a wonderful and magical thing to have actually just a specific dedicated shop like that.
What sort of things can you get in there, Marie?
Well, the elves have been busy in the workshop, and so we have some fantastic homemade crafts. They've put all the love into this year. So we have driftwood Christmas trees, we have elves and Father Christmases and lots of wood products, some fantastic baubles that they've created this year as well. So we're hoping it's going to be a fantastic winter wonderland, so please do come up and purchase Christmas.
And that's the thing, you can do your Christmas shopping and then you can have a lovely hot drink, maybe some cocoa to go with it to get you in the festive mood.
It
lovely
really is
homemade cake,
perfect.
which Marie makes as well, I should say.
I know, so much going on here. We are live this afternoon from the Greenfield Park Cafe. It's just gone at 2:20. Going to have some more music now. This is Barcelona by Andy Burrows and Matt Haig. That's Barcelona, Andy Burrows and Matt Haig. You know, when I first saw the name of that song, I thought it was going to be a rehash of Freddie Mercury and Thingy Majiggy What's It?
Oh yeah, but it's not. And actually a lot of people will know the name Matt Haig as an author.
Yeah, well that's what I was thinking. Is it the same person?
It is, yeah. And it's because he wrote a self-help book called Reasons to Stay Alive. And Andy Burrows, who was the drummer with Razorlight, was going through some problems at the time. So he read that book, loved it. They connected on Twitter, had this sort of fabulous friendship that was created from it and decided to collaborate. And that's where that song came from.
That is so lovely. Wow. This is Late Lunch and we are live from the Greenfield Park Cafe this afternoon, just behind Nobles Hospital. We are still taking any birthday wishes or any sort of celebration that you would like us to read out, because we do the celebration draw tomorrow and you could win a £25 voucher to spend at ShopRite. And we've had a message saying, can we wish happy birthday to Diane from her husband Sean and children Jem and Steve, and also her grandsons Louis and Aidan. So a big happy birthday to Diane. You are in the Late Lunch list. You could win that voucher when we do the draw between 2 and 3 tomorrow. Coming up, we'll have something I think from the brand new Heavies. What do you reckon?
I think that's a good idea, and we'll speak to some familiar voices after this as well.
The Nation Station, Manx Radio, midnight at the Oasis.
That is Midnight at the Oasis, and this is Late Lunch
At
from
the
an
what,
Oasis. I nearly got away with that. Nobody would have noticed. I was going to say we found our own Oasis here.
Oh, you're so good.
That
We
was what I was going
have
to
found
do,
our own oasis,
but you
yeah.
ruined it. That's all right. Don't
we
worry.
are in the beautiful setting of Greenfield Park. Yet again, a sunny day. We've done so well, haven't we, with having sunshine for when we do our outside broadcast. Very happy with that. We're now joined by some familiar voices to Late Lunch. We have some of our regular contributors with us, and this is partly because when the new schedule starts next week, very excited about that, we've decided that they've earned themselves a bit of a break. So they're going to be having a well-deserved winter break. They will come back in spring, but we thought it was a good opportunity to get them together. First of all, introduce them to this glorious space and get some little sort of hints and tips from each of them to tide us over until we come back in spring.
I think that's a good idea, actually, because the whole idea of well-being, I suppose, is looking at the whole person. And each of our guests, we've got life coach Kat, we've got Mike Kewley, Mindful Mike, Stef, Kerwin. I haven't thought of a little nickname for Stef yet, actually.
Oh, we haven't?
No, naturopath Stef doesn't quite trip off the tongue, I'm going to be honest, but we'll think of something.
Nutritional nut.
I mean, yes, are you happy with that, Stef?
What was that, sorry?
Nutritional nut.
Oh yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, we'll take that. But we sort of thought we'd have a conversation over the next 10 minutes or so, just looking at the whole person and how you get through those winter months, which actually for some people are a bit of a struggle.
They are, and a certain group of people that may be feeling it right now are teachers. And actually, Kat Mills, you held a special event last night, or you're involved in something last night. Tell us about that.
Yeah, last night I was invited to Michael's school there in Kirkmichael by their head teacher, which was incredible. And we had a 3-hour wellbeing evening for those guys. And so I did a bit of coaching, and lovely Aoife Bell came in to do some yin yoga, and Alison Orr with her temple spa, and Yeah, we just had an amazing self-care evening for these guys that work super hard, that don't really get much downtime.
And how did they respond? How did they react to it?
It's funny, isn't it? To begin with, when you start sessions like that, you can see people kind of not relaxing or not having that ability to relax. But as time goes on, their shoulders come down, they just feel more, able to get into the groove of what we're doing and not thinking about the things they need to do, like work or anything else in their life, I suppose.
And what were some of the little nuggets of wisdom that you left them with?
Well, interestingly, I was just talking to Mike about that. Often in our lives, especially if you're a full-time teacher, we feel like there's something missing, but we can't really put our finger on it. And with a coaching session with these guys, some of them, if not all, found that what was missing was their element of creativity. So they may have been someone who loved to paint or to make jewellery or to do something that fed their soul. However, they felt that was kind of unproductive. Because that's what we're told, right? If you do something that feeds your soul, it's not productive and you're not going to earn money. So the epiphany is to make time for the things that you absolutely love and that feed your soul, and to make that a priority. And in that, kind of not balance your life, because I don't really get balance, but blend it into your life. To feed what you enjoy.
And as you said, you were talking to Mike about this, and Mike Kewley, that is something I think that comes up quite a lot, isn't it? That we don't really take enough time for ourselves in that respect.
No, we're very busy, and our culture loves to tell us that we should be busy. We should be taking a lot more care of ourselves, and especially in the winter months, which we're kind of moving into now. Exercise, of course, is a really obvious way to do that. I tend to do a lot more running in the winter. I'll certainly be going into the rivers. I like to do.
Of course you will.
Of course I will. I like to do my Wim Hof stuff and get in the river and get freezing cold. But also just to get outside in nature. We are hardwired for nature, and actually seasonally, winter and autumn, it's stunningly beautiful. And so to take your mindfulness out into the glens and the beaches and really absorb and be part of nature. And of course, you can look back over the podcasts and the recorded practices to kind of help you boost that innate focus and calm, and that's what we do with mindfulness, and then taking that out into nature. So you get a boosted experience of the beautiful island we live in.
And there's a lovely, very simple practice, isn't it, that you can do when you're walking out and about, the see, hear, feel practice.
That's right, and actually I'm doing a workshop on see, hear, feel on Sunday. Thanks, Christy.
I genuinely did not know that, so there you go.
But yeah, it's a labelling practice. That's just a really good way to enhance focus and concentration, is to label what you're looking at. So if you're walking in a glen, or you're walking the dog, or you're running, it's a great way just to keep focus and really tune in and absorb all the sights and sounds.
Well, that from Mike Kewley and life coach Kat is nourishment for the mind. But what about nourishment for the body? Georgie Revel and Stef Kerwin are with us. And Stef, when you were last on the show, you were talking about eating a rainbow and how important it is really to try and eat seasonally as much as possible. And we were just saying that some people genuinely do struggle when the nights are getting longer and the weather's not so great. Can you eat your way out of that?
Absolutely. What I'd say is my number one tip for autumn and winter is to either get a slow cooker or eat very nourishing, warming foods. A lot of people think, we talked last week about whether you should eat foods raw or whether you should eat them cooked. Certainly to have some raw foods is really important, but in the autumn and winter, if you follow the traditional Chinese medicine philosophy, that's because we need warming up inside. And our tummy is our internal fire. So whenever we put cold things on that, and we're in the cold time of year, we can create a lot of cold in the body. Now, I know there is some benefit to being cold, like what Mike says with the Wim Hof. However, from a nutritional point of view, to keep putting cold things in your body at a cold time of year is going to really rob you of a really important energy.
Georgie Revel, will you be my slow cooker?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, fantastic. And Stef's absolutely right. I think the best thing you could do at this time of year is to go to the farmers markets and stock up with, we've got lovely Bryrad, Dot Price, who are up in Ramsey, my neck of the woods, and stock up on all the veggies, and maybe get those on a Saturday. On a Sunday, get the family all around the table, prepare the veggies, put them in lovely sealed bags, all prepared in your fridge, all ready for cooking soups, or do batch cooking of soups, etc., which you can freeze.
And comfort food doesn't have to be complicated either, does it?
Oh, absolutely not. Just saute some onions, always put some garlic in there because that's so good to ward off all the colds, etc. Leeks and parsnips. I usually wait for my leeks and parsnips until the first frost, although we don't seem to be getting many frosts here in the Isle of Man, because that makes them sweeter. And carrots and just red peppers, and just blend them all together, throw in a stock cube and whiz them up, and you've got the most beautiful soup.
Oh my goodness. We are live from the Greenfield Park Cafe this afternoon, which is a good job because all that talk of food has made me incredibly hungry. Time for a bit of Inspiral Carpets. What do you reckon, CD?
Oh, I love this band, definitely. I think one of the guys is coming over to play here on the Isle of Man actually very soon. That was the Inspiral Carpets. What a great band. And also, I said I thought someone was coming over from there. Tom Hingley from the Inspiral Carpets is going to be playing at the Colby Glen. This is the latest But First Promotions gig. It's Saturday, October the 19th. I have a sneaky suspicion it might be sold out, actually, but check on their pages, But First Promotions. What a brilliant guy to get over here.
That is amazing. What a great venue as well.
Yeah, it's a wonderful space to see people play, yeah.
I hope you've remembered that we're doing something else on October the 19th.
We are. We're going to Milntown and we're going to stay overnight.
I've just remembered.
Thank you for being scared for us, people.
I have just remembered though that I am actually genuinely busy that night, so if you could just go.
Not.
I am.
You are not, and if you were busy, I would find someone to take your place.
Do you know
can
what?
Be with me. I'm not going there by myself.
I was so enthusiastic about doing this until I actually thought about it. I love Milntown. I don't know if I love it enough to stay in the house overnight.
And I should just say as well, Charles Gard, who of course is a trustee there and spends most of his life up there, won't stay with us overnight because he's too scared because of what he's seen. So this should be fun. Thanks for that, Beth.
Well done for just really making me want to do it now. This is Late Lunch on Manx Radio. We are live from the Greenfield Park Cafe and we're joined by our well-being team, I think it's fair to say. We've got Kat Mills, our life coach, Mike Kewley, who's been teaching us mindfulness, Stef Kerwin, who's our naturopath, and Georgie Revel, who's just brilliant, Georgie from the Cook Shack. And Marie Smith from the Greenfield Park Cafe is with us as well. And Georgie was just whetting our appetite with an idea of a winter warmer, Marie, and talking about local produce. We've talked a little bit about what's available in the cafe. Is much of it locally sourced?
We do try and source everything locally if we can. We use Ross Bakery from Ballasalla, which is excellent bread, and so we can, as well as we do grow some vegetables here at the garden centre ourselves, and when we can we use those as well in his kitchen. We make fresh soup every day, and so that's obviously one of those best sellers is the soup, so please come down and try it.
Now, earlier on in the show we were talking about this being a complex and all the different things that are available here, the garden centre, but you also mentioned weaving. Tell us what happens with regard to that.
Right, so we have a weaving centre where we go from the fleece that comes from the farmer and we process that all the way through. So we wash, we dye it, we card it, we spin it, and then we weave it. And out of the weave, what we make products that we sell in our shop.
That's amazing. And also, you mentioned something about recycling. Tell me about that.
So in the workshop, we recycle wood. So we collect pallets from across the island and we will strip them. And if they're decent wood, we'll make products from them. But if it's not, we will make firewood and kindling. And we also collect aluminium cans from across the island, which we recycle as well.
That is so
just brilliant.
Cool.
And I know the main aim of the Greenfield Park Cafe isn't necessarily to make a profit or even be here for members of the public just to come in. But if anyone's listening to this and think they really want to experience some of what we've experienced this afternoon, what are the opening hours?
We're open Monday to Friday, 10 while 3. We serve hot food in the cafe till 2 and hot drinks and cake until 2:30.
I love that expression, 10 while 3. That's
I know,
brilliant.
Isn't it
I
great?
love that.
And it is a beautiful space, and you really wanted to make sure, didn't you, that it was very modern, that it was very clean, that it felt like a very modern cafe.
I did. I was very particular on what feel we wanted for the cafe, because I wanted it to come and look like any other cafe that you could come into and not just distinguish it as a learning disabilities place. It's to give a real urban chic
And just tell us, because we're sitting beside a lovely plant, and it has some hanging decorations on there that all say a little drop of lovely. Tell us a little bit about this plant. There's a story behind it, isn't there?
Yeah, we're really good at recycling, and one of the companies on Athol Street were closing down, and so they offered us the artificial plants and a lot of desks as well, which we use in our staff room.
It's
Just
another
brilliant.
example of brilliant Isle of Man community spirit, isn't it? It's just fantastic. And we can definitely vouch for this place. As I said, I've been before. Oh my word, the scones are amazing. And they're made with
Lemonade.
lemonade scones. Who knew? I didn't
Georgie,
know that
did
was a
you know
thing.
that lemonade scones were a thing?
I have heard about that, but I haven't made any myself with lemonade, but I'm going to go back and try that in the cook shack this afternoon, I think.
Oh, Kat, have you made a lemonade scone?
Yes, I used to make lemonade scones when I lived in Australia. And it's so as simple as this. It's flour, cream, can of lemonade.
Is that right? Is that how you do it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it was Marie that made them, and I can vouch for them. They are absolutely amazing. Kat, we were talking before about well-being in general. You and I think Mike as well are involved in an upcoming event.
Yes, so the Boatyard, there are having an evening, a 7-course, I think I'm getting this right, so sorry Laura if you're listening, a 7-course vegan night with speakers next Thursday is what I want to say. Yes, so that should be really interesting. Yeah.
Excellent. See, there's always something to do over here.
There
And the
really
whole sort of
is.
vegan movement as well has become quite popular over here. We were speaking to Georgie and Stef Kerwin as well. Stef, is there anything you need to be aware of if you want to sort of follow a vegan diet, but to make sure you remain healthy and get all the nutrients you need?
Absolutely. So there's a main nutrient that are in animal produce, and that's called B12, vitamin B12. It's very, very common for vegans to be low in this. And if you're going to be a vegan, it's very important that you get the right types of protein. I'm not one of these people that thinks that, everybody needs protein. Gorillas do very, very well eating plants, and they seem to grow very well. So as I talk about a lot, what's most important is to eat a balanced diet, but with lots of different coloured vegetables. So if you're a vegan, what's most important is that you're a healthy vegan, that you get your balance of your fats and your carbohydrates and your proteins, but mostly plant-based rather than out of a packet.
And Georgie, you do a vegan workshop sometimes, don't you?
Yeah, I do. There's a big call for it actually at the moment, and I need to put some more on next year. And again, with Stef, I always say I'm not a qualified dietitian, but I do feel that there is a need for B12 and perhaps, check your iron levels. Even my daughter, who's a vegetarian, she does lack some iron and needs to get that checked. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, folic acid, zinc, all sorts of bits and pieces too.
Well, this is the Late Lunch Wellbeing team who will be returning with gusto in the spring. But since we've just got a few minutes left before the end of the show, I wonder if we could just whip round all of you and you give us your top tip for getting through the winter months. Life coach Kat?
Oh, look.
Does it involve sleep, please?
Oh, look.
Lots
This
of.
is really simple, okay? So bear with. Listen to your body. Listen to your intuition. If you need to sleep, sleep. If you feel like you need a big bowl of soup, have it. If you need to connect with someone, connect with someone. Just listen to what it is you need and ask yourself, what do I need right now?
Mindful Mike, what's your top tip?
Well, big surprise, I'm going to say practice mindfulness. Just 10 minutes a day, within 4 to 6 weeks, you can literally see your brain starting to change shape on a scan. So, change your mind, train your brain to be more focused and calm and to absorb more of life whilst it's still here.
Okay, Stef Kerwin?
So the top 3 things is please manage your stress levels. Do whatever you need to do that, whether it be yoga, go for a walk. Find a way that you can help manage stress. Sleep more. In the winter, we are hibernating animals and we do need extra sleep in the winter. So enjoy that restful time and eat a rainbow every day.
And Georgie Rebel.
I suppose with the drawing in of the nights and the darkness that is coming, use that time to spend in the kitchen with your family and, talk about food and veggies with them and get them cooking, get the children cooking with you and prepare for the winter and store up and put things in the freezer for when you need them.
Well, it has been an absolute joy over the past few months talking to each of you. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us on a very regular basis on Late Lunch. And if you want to access any of those podcasts that Mike referred to, if you want to get into mindfulness, you can find all of them at manxradio.com. And finally, thank you so much to you, Marie, for letting us gate crash the cafe this afternoon. It's amazing. It was so busy just literally a couple of minutes ago, and it's like the calm has descended.
Thank you very much for coming. Could I just say a big thank you to all my staff team, because they've done a wonderful job.
And also we wish you the very best with the awards. Just remind people, if they've just tuned in, what you've been nominated for. It's the Newspaper Awards for Excellence.
It is, yes. We've been we're through to the finals for the Excellence Awards for public. Oh God, I forgot. Yeah.
We'll put it on. We'll put it on Facebook afterwards. Don't you worry. But we wish you all the very best for that. Good luck. Eggfire, I think it is in Manx. I'm trying to do little bits of Manx. I'm failing miserably here. And just remind everyone about the opening times.
We're open Monday to Friday, 10 while free, hot food served while 2, and cake and coffee till 2:30.
And don't forget, this is the place to come and do your Christmas shopping, because you're going to get gifts that you will find nowhere else on the Isle of Man. So I've had a pretty good afternoon.
Greenfield Park Cafe has been very good to us, and as we said, it's not just a cafe, it's more of a complex. There's so much going on up here, it's well worth checking out. Basically go to the Strang Crossroads, turn right if you're coming from Douglas, and then take the first right. I suppose that's probably the best way to describe it, but we'll put the details on our Facebook page afterwards.
Just want to say a very quick thank you to Sarah Hendy, who's been pushing the buttons up at Broadcasting House, and also Matty Cunningham, who's our engineer, who's disappeared. Probably just, oh no, there he is. I'm surprised he hasn't got cake in his hand as he normally does. I know. Tomorrow on the show, you're heading back to the afternoon show.
I know, I'm filling in for Alex again.
Yeah, so I still need to solve the Morajadooni challenge, which is stressing me out slightly, I'm going to be honest, and Howard Kane has been absolutely no use whatsoever so far, so I'm going to set him to try and solve that hopefully before tomorrow. But we're going to end with a brilliant song by Andy Grammer.
He is fantastic. Thanks very much for listening. Back with you tomorrow at 2.
You're not the type of girl to remain with the guy